Shiitake Mushroom Baguette. A couple years ago, I cashed in on some extra airline mileage that I had, and I was fortunate enough to go and visit a friend of mine from high school in France. Everything about the experience was awesome. What I love about baguettes, and especially this recipe, it just kind of, I feel like, elevated the meal to more of an experience. So when I got home, I brought a ton of cheese with me, and I was like, oh, I gotta find a baguette recipe. And you know, a lot of them are overnight, a lot of them just take a very long time. This one is fast and easy. It can be done in 2.5 hours. This is the recipe, and I make it almost once a week, sometimes twice a week. This is my second time this week making it, and it's a really simple process. So what we've got is 300 milliliters or 10.1 ounces of water. I tend to use warmer water. I just feel like it helps activate the yeast, which is what's coming up next. We have 6 grams of dry yeast that we are just going to pour in. And I left my spoon out. I forgot to put my spoon out. But then what you want to do is just mix it, and we're mixing it in to dissolve. With this recipe, I have now added in Shiitake Mushroom Powder. This does change the amount of water that's needed. I haven't actually altered that in my recipe yet. I kind of just do this on the fly as I go. If your dough is too dry, if it's not sticking together, this is a recipe too where you want more of a wet dough, like all around. So it looks like now we're all dissolved. Woo! Typically, I usually put my salt in my flour, but we did it separately this time. So I'm gonna put the salt in, and that is 8 grams of salt. And here I have, it's actually Shiitake mushroom crumble. It's kind of what I sift out when I do the powder, but it does have a mixture of powder in there too. I just keep it because I kind of like the chunks, but I throw like 2 rounded like tablespoons, like the large spoon size. It doesn't have to be that much. It is going to smell like mushroom. It is not going to taste like mushroom. It's actually just going to give this like really nice yeasty umami type flavor to it. So there, the mushroom is in. And then lastly, we're going to add in 380 grams of flour. The original recipe for this calls for bread flour. I do not tend to keep bread flour on hand or separate. I use all-purpose flour for everything. Now, you can see in this one, there's just a bunch of layers. It's super dry. It's not sticking together all the way. I'm not going to measure this. I'm literally just going to like pour a little across. We'll mix it up again. Not quite there yet. So, all in all, this is probably going to be probably closer to 10.8 ounces of water. So now it's all stuck together. All the stuff off the sides. It's a little bit moist. Sorry, it's a little bit wet. Throw it in a blob. There. Then take your pastry brush or basting brush. I call it my pastry brush because I just brush dough with it all the time. But you kind of just want to like cover this. It doesn't have to be a lot. You don't really want a ton of standing water, but you do want it wet all the way around so it doesn't dry out. It just kind of helps and gives it a nice protective barrier there. Yeah, and so then I'm going to set it over here. I have another bowl I already made up. But this is my nice warm place that I let them sit. We are going to cook these actually for about 25 minutes at 455. Sometimes you do more, sometimes you do less. My oven takes approximately an hour to heat up to that temperature. One of the elements burnt out, and we just haven't actually, they stopped making it. So we haven't replaced the oven. It's on the list, but you know, life. Really, you want your dough to double in size. I feel like good 2 hours probably is about what it takes. So after an hour, I turn my oven on and I get it preheating. And once it comes to temperature, then I start working the dough and making the loaves. So we have about a 2-hour wait now, and I'm gonna clean up this kitchen a little bit and we'll come back in 2 hours. All right, here we are. It has been rising. It is double its size. Next step. Oh my God, that smells so good. It's all yeasty, delicious. Next step is we're just gonna sprinkle a little bit of flour on the top. Sprinkle a little bit of flour on the counter that I did clean. And then you just take the spoon and you just want to scrape the sides. So one of my most favorite things about this is just that mushroom just like brings out the flavor in the grain. And I'm just using the typical like store-bought, just enriched flour, so it's not like it's anything special really, but it almost gives it like just that really good bakery taste. Does not taste like mushrooms. Yeah, scrape it down, dump it out. Bowl comes out pretty clean. I like to just get some flour on my hands, and what you want to do then is just take this and you kind of want to spread it into a rectangle. Okay, we got the rectangle. Take your whatever kind of spray oil you use, and you just want oil that otherwise it's going to stick. And then we're going to take it and cut it in half. Oh my God, there's something so satisfying about using a pastry cutter. You're going to want one of these. If you don't have one of these, you can take, actually pizza boxes work pretty perfect, and you can take 2 of these and set them down and then put parchment paper over. But I got one of these Baguette pans from our local Gourmet, Alaska, and you set it on the pan, set the parchment over the top, and then you put your 2 loaves, I guess, in there. So take your one, fold it in half, pick it up, and drop her in. You want to try to like even it out, go for it. If not, you just leave it and it kind of works itself out. And there's the second one. And what I then do, it says you're just supposed to do like water in the pan, but what I found that has actually worked really well is I kind of just take the water and I pat it and I kind of just coat the whole thing in water, and then I just pour a tiny little bit in the pan. This again, like something about the extra moisture in there just makes a really, really nice crust on the bread, and it also gives it that true baguette taste and texture without all of the extra stuff that is usually involved in that process. So it's probably one of my go-tos, and actually sometimes I want this bread so bad that I plan dinner around bread. So anyways, oh my God, looks so great. Oh, and I already forgot to pour a little in there, but just pour a little water in, and into the oven it goes. o'clock at night and the bread is finally done. Oh. All right, turn this off. Oops. Leave that open, warm up the house a little bit. So here we have 4 loaves of baguettes. Just let that cool off a little bit there. Doesn't break. Pops right back out. The bottom is kind of soft, but I prefer it that way. You leave it in the pan. You cook it a little longer. Actually, I've got it down almost to a science to the way I like it, but it is, you know, like it is kind of a science experiment and things change. So, anyways, I have 4 loaves of bread. I can make Parisians. I can make whatever I want. You just eat the bread. I actually just take the measuring cup that I usually baste in and melt butter while I cook bread. And then I take a little bit and I dunk and I eat. And it's friggin' delicious. So, you have all the ingredients. You saw me throw it together. Easy peasy. Everyone can make it. Everyone can enjoy fresh bread. Everyone should enjoy fresh bread for a fraction of the cost of what it costs in stores. It's yeast, butter, salt, flour, water, but the butter's just for the eating.